Hello, hello, hello. How are you doing? Kevin here, and I am talking to you. And look, things are different. I want to pause for a moment and just be quiet. Listen to that. That is the sound of nothing. I'm very excited. I've just gotten done with another batch of sound isolation work. Not sound isolation, it's not audio, acoustic treatment work for this office. So last time we talked, my attitude was a little dour. I don't know. Although one of you pointed out, like, hey, you may think you're down, but you're way happier than you were in New York, which is that is very true. So yeah, I'm going to talk today, kind of about where I'm at since then, because I don't know. This is just what I've been doing. It's been cathartic for me to talk to you guys. It's been great to interact with you guys in the comments. I don't know if there's a reason for you guys to watch this stuff, but this is what I'm doing on this channel for right now, before I kind of spin up into whatever this is going to be again. But I think that it's helpful for me to have sort of this, like, all right, let's try and get something out, on a regular basis type of thing. So yeah, last time I talked about, and the video quality was not very great because I was working in a very limited setup. A lot of the stuff that I had, I wasn't able to get set up. And you see that now I'm recording on the Heil PR40, which I love, 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 love this microphone. And I had this microphone with me. I did not have the pop filter for it. I didn't have the pop filter for it. I didn't have the microphone stand for it. And I didn't have a way to get it into the laptop. So this was the whole thing about moving, is that I took the expensive stuff that I could deal with and brought it with me on two planes, two separate flights, because I was here twice. One of them had a layover, so that was also two planes, but so 3 planes total. But the rest of the stuff I had kind of shipped, and because of various travel plans and not being sure if I'd be here to receive stuff and not wanting to have it get rejected and shipped back, I was nervous about sending it here, so I sent it to my parents. So they had all of like the peripherals, so like the microphone cable and stuff, things that I would need to make any of the expensive stuff work. I didn't have, but I had the expensive stuff and it was safe on me at all times, which is great. But now I have my better webcam now. I have my better microphone. I have external monitors, which is amazing. I have a light on a little tripod here, and recently, so my brother came up on Friday, which was fantastic. So he brought all of these boxes, way more boxes than I thought I actually had shipped. Very excited to be able to start setting stuff up again. I was like, hey, do you mind if we like run an errand? He's like, dude, let's just do whatever the heck you need to do. And so we had this very old van that we've had for maybe, I don't know, let's say 300 years. And we went over to Menards, which is the Home Depot of the Midwest. I don't know. It's a not a craft store. What do you call home improvement store? Yeah, home improvement store. We got some of those injection molded plastic chairs to go out on the patio. Yeah, I guess it's a patio. We got a ladder because I love these really tall ceilings, but I did discover that there are smoke detectors at the top of the ceilings. And the one thing about smoke detectors is that at some point, there should be like a Murphy's Law about this, but there should be some law, Kevin's Law, we're going to call it Kevin's Law, that a smoke detector's battery will drain at the most inconvenient time. It's never going to drain at like 3 in the afternoon when you're like, I wonder what I should do right now. I just bought these batteries from the store. That's not what happens. It's like 4 in the morning and you're exhausted and you're hungover or something. You're just like, I don't want to, but then to not be able to reach them would be a problem. So yeah, I have a ladder now, which is awesome. Also means that I'll be able to start hanging curtains, which is a brand new thing for me, but I'm going to figure that out. And then we also went and got like a super comfy chair for the main room. And yeah, so I've been very excited. I've been working on obviously real work, but I've also been trying to. So I had this sort of plan when I moved in here that like there were going to be rooms, because I'm moving from a very small space into a large place. You don't have the stuff to be like, oh, well, this obviously goes here and this goes here, and this room will be the place where I do this, and this will be the place where I do that. This this is a huge. This is a separate office. It's amazing. You see, now I have a curtain that blocks it off from the other. I mean, it's classified as a bedroom, but I'm not going to be using it as a bedroom. Off from there. And actually, let me show you, because I've been working on. I got some additional acoustic treatments. I got this camera working. Hello, you. And yeah, there's a light up there. And back up, and then so yeah, we've got the curtain there, and this is blocking like kind of the room that's now just full of random junk. It's kind of a loading zone at the moment. But I have been putting up all of this tons and tons of acoustic paneling and getting it particularly around these walls, or these shelves, was challenging, but I got an X-Acto knife today, which has let me do that. And now, so I still have some more stuff that I want to eventually treat. So this is, I think it's Auralex is the company, but it's acoustic foam, and it is amazing. I had small treatments in the old place, and I've got more stuff on its way. Basically, to finish out this area is going to be like another box of 24 things, and then I've got this wall still to do at all, and then I'll have to curtain this off. And at that point, I'm hoping the ceiling is still rather high up there, and you can see there's a oh, come on, camera, zoom. Yeah, there you go. There's a sprinkler system thing there. So I'm not exactly sure how much treatment I'm going to do up there. But I am so freaking excited. And I even down around the floors, you probably can't see through all this stuff. But yeah, actually that one, there you go. I ended up cutting stuff around the outlets just to try and make things work a little bit better. And so, yeah, I'm very excited. I think I've got more foam coming, and I'll be able to have this thing kind of fully treated. But the idea is, yeah, seamless camera transition. Hopefully, I'll find out in the edit. But the idea is that because I don't have a lot of stuff, that I want to try and focus on, like, let's get individual rooms to a stable place, right? So, and maybe some of the areas are just going to be ignored for now, but right now I want to get this office area to a good place, and part of that means being able to record stuff and not have to worry about a lot of crazy echo and stuff. So I have, this microphone now set up, I have the webcam set up, I have these monitors that are set up. I think I'm probably in a good place to start up the podcast again. The next thing I think is going to be probably working on the bedroom, trying to actually get a bed frame, trying to actually get curtains hung. I now have a tension rod in there that is blocking out so much light now, which is amazing. It's so nice. Because you don't realize just how much light leaks in through shades until it stops. And you're like, oh my goodness, I didn't realize there was this level of dark. This is insane. But yeah, so that's kind of the plan. I want to work on this room, then work on the bedroom, and then, I don't know, maybe work on the main living area. Like, there's a very new comfy chair, which is great. But aside from that, like, there's nothing there. It is the main, like, if you come into the place, this is the place where you hang out, but there's nothing there. I did talk last time a bit about like how there are a whole bunch of different tasks or different areas of progress that I need to be working on. My physical health, my mental health, my asterisk health, anything health. But also various projects. And one of those so there are a couple of things that I kind of need to spin up, because over the past 2 months while I was working on moving, I said, okay, I'm just going to take a break from some stuff. Among that was the podcast, and which is the Code Monkey Podcast. If you search Code Monkey Podcast or go to codemonkeypodcast.com, because people asked last time. I'm not trying to promote, but people asked, so I feel like I have to promote a little bit. Or then also the gaming channel, which is Just Kevin Games. People also asked about that. Spinning up the Kerbal Space Programming series. And I've been trying to get now to the point where I think this week I'm going to do a test episode with Alex. And one of the things that people have been asking for a little bit about the podcast is because we've put it out, so it's an RSS feed, so you can subscribe to it on iTunes or most podcast app, but you can't get it on SoundCloud, and we're not uploading stuff to YouTube. And there's some specific reasons for that. One is that SoundCloud costs money to host more than I think 180 minutes worth of stuff. I'm working on getting that set up anyway, because enough people have requested it that, okay, maybe we'll go ahead and do this. And then YouTube, there is a bit of a concern in that Alex and I kind of have done this on a handshake agreement, and the podcast hasn't brought in any money. I mean, we never had any expectation that it would. But if we start posting the podcast episodes on YouTube, because of how YouTube Red works now, well, we're gonna. We would make, pennies, but we would start making money off of it. And that does mean like actually having to sit down and negotiate, like, okay, ownership and intellectual property and which is kind of uncomfortable, but we're going through trying to get stuff set up, trying to get to a point where we can start posting the podcast again, which is going to be exciting. I think it's moving is sort of weird because you do have to put a whole bunch of things on hold, and then trying to start it up is like starting up a lawnmower after the winter. The first time after the winter, and you go like, oh, this needs oil and gasoline and stuff, and you get it, and then you just pull in that pull string. I really got to get this thing spun up again. So working on that, trying to get the podcast to a better place, and in a place where hopefully people can listen to it in a way that they most enjoy, which will be great. And then I think as soon as that's launched, I'll go ahead and try and spin up the Kerbal Space Programming series again. And of course, while doing all of that, just trying to get this whole thing set up as well. Oh, there's one other thing. It was unfortunate, but I discovered that my PC, which is different from my work laptops, I do so much stuff on my work laptop, but my PC did not fare well in the move. Unfortunately, a lot of stuff ended up getting kind of torn out. So I've now got new equipment sort of coming in. Part of the thing, in addition to with the podcast thing and having to worry about monetization and stuff like that, is going, well, I shouldn't be just doing casual stuff on my work PC now. That if this is going to be an intellectual property and blah blah blah, then I should be working on it using separate equipment and stuff. So that's going to mean getting some new computer equipment, getting myself spun up a little bit more on Adobe CC, because I don't want to invest crazy amounts of money on Macs anymore, because it just feels like, man, it's just so much money to upgrade so frequently. And so if I can train myself up on Adobe Premiere and maybe even switch the podcast over to their Adobe Audition, try and edit it there, see how that sort of stuff goes. See if maybe if I can work on that, and then start trying to very rigidly segment, like, this is the stuff where I do work, and this is the stuff where I do my not day work stuff. Anyway, so it's weird because I made the video last week and I felt like, oh man, I have not gotten anything done, and I'm just sort of bleh. And I feel like everything should be better. And kind of since then, I feel like I really have been knocking a lot of stuff out. Not necessarily in the most productive areas. Like, I spent time trying to optimize the podcast website and configure a whole bunch of things. And but I feel like I've actually been making progress in a way that I can measure. And I think that's a big thing as far as making progress and just living your life in a sustainable way, is that it's not necessarily that you have to get things done that are the important things that you need to get done, but more that you need to make progress in a way that you personally can detect, so that at the end of the day, you can go like, hey, whatever it is, I leveled up in such and such a game. Like, whatever the thing is, it doesn't matter whether or not the task is important, but the idea that you can say, hey, like, I can point to this as evidence that I got up today and my life is a little bit different for having done so, that certainly helps. So that's kind of where I'm at. I've also got some additional stuff coming in to try and, I've got some supplies coming in. I want to try, there's a subreddit called Meal Prep Sunday. And the idea is that there's this community of people that all that they do is that on Sunday, they cook a week's worth of meals that they can freeze. So they basically, it's creating your own microwavable food. I apologize reverb. But they go ahead and do this. And then, they eat that throughout the entire day. I have had this problem of like, I'm going to walk over to a restaurant or order pizza or whatever, because while I was in New York, I did not cook stuff for myself. I ordered delivery food for almost every meal, which was very, very, very bad. I mean, it's not as bad as out here where it's like ordering delivery food means like, hey, I just ate a whole pizza. I could be like, hey, I'm going to have like a small sandwich, but I'm going to have it delivered and it's going to cost me a stupid amount of money and things like that. So one of the things that I want to try and work on, especially just as kind of just a preliminary step to working on my physical health, is just saying like, hey, not going to try and be like, oh, I'm going to eat super healthy stuff all the time right now. All that I want to do is get to a point where, hey, I've prepped this, so now these are things like I can at least know what it is that I'm eating on a regular basis, and at least have some sort of easy default option that like, oh yeah, this is the thing that I just throw in the microwave and I'm done. Because I think having at least some sort of stable habit, even if it is a bad one, is something that I can start to improve upon, rather than just going like, I don't even remember what I ate over this past week. I gotta do better. That's another sort of depressing thing, is that with the return of the stuff that I shipped came my scale, and man, that was not a welcome return. Scale should not have traveled with me because it is irritable. But anyway, that's what's been up with me this week. Obviously, we celebrated Independence Day by igniting a lot of combustible items that made noises like we were under attack, which was fun for everybody. I hope that if you are one of those America people, I hope you had a wonderful Independence Day. If you are not, I hope you're jealous of what a wonderful time the people who are had for the Independence Day. Let me know how you're doing. Let me know kind of what... I don't know. It was interesting reading a lot of your comments, because a lot of you kind of talked about, hey, there are some similarities here. There are some problems. Like, yeah, I need to get things back on track. What do you think are kind of the first steps? How do you get your life to a stable point where you feel like, all right, now I can actually sit down and try and make incremental improvements? What are kind of the necessary preliminary things that you need to start planning that out? Because I'm trying to work on that problem myself, and I'd be interested to know any of you who are trying to better yourselves now, what's on your list. Other than that, I will see you no later than next week, and I hope you are doing well. Cheers.